Hello, it's me again, the buyer, and today we are going rallying in automation and our little sports car campaign that we are doing here. It's 1976, and if we are quick we can still hammer out a Group 4 rally car. I have prepared all the rules we have to follow, loosely based on the official Group 4 rules, and with the Cuneo we have a very good base car to build the rally car upon, just like the Lancia Stratos. But I think we are doing something a little bit more special. We will already for Group 4 build a turbocharged car. So the first important thing when we talk about Group 4 is homologation rules. And the rules were that we needed to produce 400 cars of the base car in 24 months. And if you calculate that, that means we need to sell 16 per month over 2 years. I think we did that in the beginning, but it's very close with the Berlinetta. So we need to make sure that we can either bring the price down or sell it for less, yeah, so that we actually get that car onto the market. Typically these Group 4 cars have been more sporty sedans, entry-level models, except for example the Stratos, but these supercar approaches were not as common back then. Cuneo is not a proper supercar yet, but these very high-end sports car approaches were not really done by then. So yeah, we will need to tone it down a little bit to make sure that we produce enough cars. So let's head right into the project and create a new facelift. So here we have the Berlinetta and the Spider. We will build first a road-going homologation car and from that derive whatever we need to do for the rally version, but we will also need to keep the Spider. As we have seen, this is our best selling model of the Cuneo. So there's no way to get rid of that. Alright, so currently the Cuneo has a 2.8 liter V8. Another thing to consider if we want to take a unique approach is that maybe we want to turbocharge it. And therefore, if we want to stay in the 3 liter class, we need to apply the turbo factor of 1.4 and reduce our capacity to, let me calculate, 2.142 liters. I think we already did that for our Group 5 prototype. Yeah, this is exactly 3 cc below the limit. 2-valve DOHC with turbos. 500 horsepower. Very high strung, very late power band, not suited to do rally. So we will definitely not select this existing engine with 500 horsepower. This is more on Group B terrain. We will build a new variant and we have to clone the variant, else the Group 5 car will not get an engine anymore. But let's choose this as the base engine and call it a Rally Turbo. So a road-going version, which also goes into the rally car. We can tune it a little bit for the rally car in case we think it's really necessary. But yeah, definitely we need first to have a drivable engine, and I'm aiming more like 300 horsepower maybe. Let's just check what the existing car had. Yeah, the existing car I think was more in the 200 horsepower range. This one 206 horsepower, so if we end up at 250-300 horsepower, this will be a huge improvement. So let's do some magic. Let's detune this thing a little bit and see where we can take it. Definitely we need to pay attention that this is still on F-gas, and we need to also use a road-going fuel, especially of course for the road car. And I think we need to go for 95 RON, which is already on the high end. Of course, performance intake. So I'm currently trying to aim that we use the same engine in the rally version than in the road car, and therefore we need to do reasonable choices. So just performance intake, not to collect all of the stones and the dust. Of course, we will stay with the mechanical fuel injection per cylinder. I think that's an advantage over a single point EFI. An interesting choice might be if we want to go for 1 turbo instead of 2. Maybe. But definitely we will first take away some of the boost. So 1 bar is still plenty. Let's maybe even go down to 0.75. and then try to get some of the boost maybe down to 4000 RPM. That would be really good. Can even get it down almost to 3000 RPM. That would be really nice for rally. I think we can even turn up the boost a little bit, and then we have surge. Yeah, let's work with this and try to optimize it. I think it's pretty good with the 2 turbos setup already. Let's reduce some weight. We also need to take a look at the weight limit in the end, which is 945 kilos. We can also get away with the mid-turbo headers. But we need a muffler for going onto the road, of course. And catalytic converter, that will hurt. Ouch. Yeah, we have to open it up again, but all the power is gone. Boost kicking in at 3,500 RPM when we have such a wide range here of power and torque. I think that would still be alright for a rally engine. Let's go for the 1 bar. We could make everything a little bit lighter with the light watch steel parts. Reduce some weight here. And I think then we have a pretty nice engine. Yeah, let's go for this. 290 horsepower, boost at 3,500. I think this will do it, both for the street going version and for the rally version, without being too aggressive. And then let's give the outside a little bit of an overhaul. We're approaching the 80, so let's get rid of the chromey bits. We could do additional bumpers, but let's go just for integrated looks here. I want to have it a little bit more sleek than the entry-level version. And yeah, that's basically already the overhaul for the road-going version. And then let's aim again for a supercar level here. For Group 4 we also just will stick to rear-wheel drive, of course. Four-wheel drive is just too heavy. And from a weight perspective we are almost there. We need to go down to, or we could go down to 945 kilos for the rally version. But this is now the road-going version, so this can be a little heavier. Traction-wise, could use a little bit more. A little bit more grip. But that also means we want to have more front tires. So this car really needs to be good if we want to sell it. At least 17 a month. Yeah, now another look at regulations tells me we need to have the same surface for braking. So the friction surface needs to be the same. That means if we want to have some kind of ventilated brake discs, like these, then we already need to have them on the road-going car, because we cannot take any friction surface away. So the dimensions of the brakes and so on already needs to be the same. So let's choose the biggest brakes that we can get, even though we lose another 3 kilograms. This has semi-clad under tray. We might go for the off-road skid tray in the end, although this is quite heavy. So for the rally version at least. And let's also use a little bit of wing and stuff. I'm already afraid to take a look at emissions. Interior is still alright. Still we have a little bit of an issue. Fuel availability is an issue, but that will improve. Safety above 30, that's good. As long as we don't sell it in Hedvisa, because that won't work. Alright, what does it tell us? We definitely need higher price here. 75 I think was the original price. And then we only sell 13. 60k, 18. And let's hope we can do that, especially in the first years when we have some pre-orders. I think then we should get to the 400 in 2 years pretty quickly. So when we now do this project, we need to consider the project time, let's say 3 years. Then it's 1979. And then we need to sell cars as quickly as possible before we get the homologation. In the worst case, when we need 2 years to sell those 400 cars, then it's 1981 already, and we only have 1 season to compete in the World Rally Championship, because only then we get the homologation. So if we can sell more, then it's good. So let's aim for 50k. It's not improving things a lot, but yeah, maybe we can go for 55. We will see how much it costs, but probably we need to sacrifice a little bit of profit. It's just not a very good car. Sportiness and drivability are not looking that good. The rest is good. Very good prestige, decent comfort. The rally car also needs shorter gearing than this. So main problem definitely is the fuel availability. In case that increases, then we will also sell more cars. We also have this thing here. We need to get something onto the rear. So that's maybe another modification. We need to have a wing on there. Also we need a wing if we want to have it later. I just always think there are not really good early wings available that don't look like tuner wings. And that's probably the best one. But we can also make it look a little nicer if we use 3D mode and align it with the body contours a little bit more. I think that will be it. And then we have much better cornering. Drivability and sportiness are a little better. Things are getting a little better if I give it better tires, but then it gets much too expensive. Need to do some R&D here in the tire section. It's so much money. 1 click maybe. Just for a little bit higher stats. And then, moment of truth, emissions. Oh, where's 6? Beautiful. Yeah, that's more than enough. Will take us all the way until 1985 when we get the next hurdle. But then I don't care about this anymore, I think. Yeah, I think we can leave it at this for the Stradale basically. I will delete the Spider and just create a new one based on the Stradale. Do that very quickly. And then let's check what we can do here. So this should be a bit more on the luxurious side. I also want to detune this a little bit. I think this one maybe needs to be naturally aspirated. Let's make a new version of the Stradale. This didn't even have a catalytic converter yet. Didn't I have another version of... Yeah, this one. This one had the catalytic converter. Let's choose this one and rev it a little bit more. But we don't make a lot of power. Should probably upgrade it a little bit. 219 horsepower. That's a little bit of a boost. And yeah, safety below 30. We need to do something about it. Needs 2 points of safety quality. I think there's no way around that. Again, normalized desirability is pretty bad. At least I can improve the brakes a little bit. Drivability is much better with the non-turbocharged engine. take a look at emissions are not good, not at all. 20% over the limit. Also the big wing didn't really help. I need to revise the engine. Need to give it less fuel. Even with exhaust quality I cannot really improve it. Again, no emissions optimization is best for hydrocarbons in my case. The smaller manifold size I can get somewhere, but we will see what it does to our power curve. Yeah, the performance high intake probably didn't really help us. Yeah, it took away all of the low end torque, and that was the difference. Much closer now. So I'm actually made the engine worse than before, at least from a power output perspective. And green. 203 horsepower. Oh god. It's so bad. It is not really good. It sold pretty well before, and hopefully it will do that again. Alright, but now the fun part. The rally. So we have the homologation car ready, and this is what we will do with it. We will keep the engine as it is, although there are some things you can do with the engine. You could increase compression, you can work on exhaust, you can use different cams and so on, but this turbo engine is so finicky and I'd rather keep it as it is. It has a really nice power band. We are right there in the ballpark when it comes to the power, even on the more competitive side, I would say. I think the Lancia Stratos didn't even have so much. Let's check what the Stratos had. 140 kilowatts, and that's nothing. Of course it was light, and it was in the 2.5 liter class, I think. So 140 kilowatts is just 188 horsepower. This is a rally, this is a Group 4 monster. So let's make it a rally car, I'd say. Definitely increase the ride height a little bit. What I didn't pay attention is the tire diameters need to be the same. So I will do that, and I will also adjust that for the homologation version first. Even increase the drivability and sportiness. Very good. Okay, we also need to decide for a color. That's the most important choice, of course. We want to go for the orange again. Maybe a little bit detuned. But let's just go for something white, maybe. Never had something like that. So now, rally it up even a little bit more ride height, and then a little bit of fixture work I wanted to do. What we also can do is we can increase the fender flares by 50 millimeters. I'm just eyeballing that now on each side. Then what else do we need? Let me check. We need towing eyes, front and rear. Right. Then we need probably these things on the wheels that make the stones not fly all the way into the distance. I don't know how they are called. Maybe we can find them. Mud flaps. Oh. Yeah, mud flaps. That's their name. So we can either use these or these. Modern round mud flaps. Too modern, probably. Yeah. Don't look nice. Let's use these. Right. And now for some additional lights, I'd say. We of course need the number plates, because for the transfer stages we need to go onto the road. I also will remove the chrome here from the window trim. So we need some additional headlights, of course, and we also need latches or additional fasteners for the panels. Okay, also gives it a little bit more of the racy feel. There's no requirement for roll cage as far as I know, and there's also not a possibility to completely empty the interior in Group 4. Still needs to be somewhat realistic. And also, look, very nice, the intercooler is sitting here in the interior with the pipe going through there. I think we will keep it that way. Okay, what else? Yeah, we said lights need to be on there. We can also add more things to the bumper as long as we don't change the contour if looked at from above. But I don't think there's much we can do there. So change the lip and so on. We'll just leave it as it is. So headlights, we probably need to build something on our own there. The auxiliary lights are okay, but I'd like to have this integrated look. Maybe we can still do it based on these. I think this is pretty good. But of course I need to fix the mirroring of here. Therefore I will copy it in place, or clone it in place, flip to the other side, flip horizontally. Same here, clone in place, flip to the other side, mirror. Not mirror, this one. Okay, that's it. And now cover it all up a little bit more. We can just paint that stuff white. It's not aerodynamic enough, I think. But still I can paint it already. That's it. Maybe I still need something to connect those bits. Not sure. Just to cover up that black part. I think therefore it's a good idea. And that's as far as I wanted to go, I think, with the visual parts. Just checking my notes again. Yeah, I think the most important things have been done. Now it's about the engineering. As we said, the engine will stay the same. From a drivetrain gearing perspective, we have to use, for example, the diff ratio, which is basically this slider here. This needs to be homologated, but not on all cars. So let's say we just have an option in our catalog where you can get shorter gearing. So the rally gearing, basically 240 kilometers an hour, maybe. Will it hurt our emissions? No, doesn't. Okay. So this is probably the gear set I want to use. I could use the race LSD. Let's do that. As I said, no 4x4. At least, of course, no 4x4. All-wheel drive would be the one that we want, but I think it's too early for that. And also, this car is already so overweight. We need to strip another 60 kilograms, I think. Tire-wise, we can use up to 330 millimeters in the 3-liter class. We will not get there, but we can use more. 285 is plenty. We'll see if we can run with such kind of stagger here. Let's do 245s in the front, 285s in the rear. Magnesium wheels is alright. Maybe you would like to run steel wheels for more strength or something. I don't know. More braking force in the front. Yeah, the off-road skid tray, it just adds so much. We'll just use none, I think. Still, emissions are fine. This saves us a little bit of weight. So we will run maximum wing configuration, probably. Emissions still are okay. Yeah, well above the limits. And then seating. Of course we need 2 seats. We can go for the race version. Because it will hurt the score. But this car I will just build as I would do it. No entertainment. And we are down to the weight limit. 945 kilo is our goal. So I think this is good enough. Let's choose track premium then. Then we don't need all of the comfort. Yeah, this all remains the same. Safety package of course as well. We can make it a little lighter. Not too much. We should probably also not run that stiff springs. Even though it would benefit us in the track premium market. But yeah, we need to make it somewhat viable. Camber is not too aggressive, I think. We can change the bumper a little bit. Let's add an under tray or something. Even though we didn't have it in the automation stats. So let's see what this endeavor will cost us. 11 million, that's alright. 2 years of time is very good. I definitely don't want to spend much longer on this. Can make it a little more expensive, let them work. And extract a little bit more out of this. Okay, 2 years. The engine is probably a bigger problem. But I also need to check what's actually used. Don't think I used this one, right? Yeah, that's what we did. Very good. Also here. Can extract also a little reliability maybe. Or not. No. Cost is also right. And learn a bit about turbos. 22 million. Okay. Expensive. But that's the way it is. I will need to check what the Futurismo is using. So we have this version and the Competizione Turbo. The rest is not in production anymore. Yeah, we'll just have it all in one factory maybe. Or we can split it to 2 factories so that we don't suffer too many penalties. So let's have one factory for the Stradale basically. But this is the race. This is the race factory. So let's use all of our race engines here. Quite expensive engines. Oh god. 18k per engine. Or 21k. But these are Competizione versions, so I don't care. But these are also going into our homologation car. So we won't earn any money with the Berlinetta anymore. Oh god, oh god. And here we use our road-going versions. Definitely need at some point an engine factory for our performance engines. Now, do we want to kill the Group 5 version of the Futurismo? I think I want to do that because we just sell 1 per month. And let's use the racing shed for the new rally project. And the normal factory for the road-going variants. Okay, and then let's figure out the pricing. Yeah, not looking too good, but there's also a big issue here with the pricing. 85k, and let's aim for, let me set 55k. Also reduce this price here. Oh yeah. So factory shifts are... This estimation is now a little bit more difficult because we have 2 factories, 2 car factories in the mix. So maybe what I do now first is to disable the racing shed. Check out that our road going stuff is selling. Okay, and there you see it now. It's not average between 2 factories anymore, and suddenly this looks pretty good for the road project. I'll play it safe here with the homologation version. make it somewhat cheap. We can increase the price as soon as we have the homologation version out there. As soon as we have sold 400 cars, then we will raise the price. But for now, we will leave it as is. And we will still already take the full money for the Spider. Looks like around 2 million per month again. I think we can afford that. Now let's add the racing shed back. Just the Group 4 rally version. How much do we want to have for the rally version? Track. Oh, I don't have any money. Let's go for the hyper stuff again. No, I cannot sell it in the hyper category because it just is too bad. It has no comfort and stuff. It cannot be cheaper than the road going version because it's a rally. Let's try it with this. If we sell 3 or 4 or 5, then it's already good enough. We're just doing this for fun. Okay, 2 years. Ready in 1978. Then we have 2 years of time to sell 400 of the Berlinetta, the road going version, and then we can officially go rallying. 42 million. A little bit of a loan. Doesn't hurt. We almost pay no interest. So let's play it safe again with 50%. Payback in 4 years and sign it off. Okay, that was more difficult than I thought. Yeah, I think we can let it run until 1978 and see if we didn't mess up all of the rest of our production, and then head to the racetrack. Again, after launch of the engineering project, I get a nice spike, and already we get the first pre-orders here for the Stradale and the Spider, which is very good, because I need all of the pre-orders as soon as possible. Again, 5 million of taxes are going down the drain. Let me do the tire R&D that I thought I wanted to do. Just a little bit. We are now spending 1 billion per month on R&D. We are getting there. So what else can we see? Currently, the pre-orders of the G2 are slowly going down, which is good. Will be taken off the market in 2 years. And yeah, we should stop producing the Group 5 car. We have 153 cars in stock and we are not selling any of those anymore. We only sold 4. That's actually a nice and realistic number, but we produced a little bit too many. Do we want to get rid of that? Let's make it a special offer, 150k. Yeah, and for the lower price, people want it again. No taxes, very good. Still nobody buys the Group 4 rally car, but that was expected. We already have 51 pre-orders for our homologation car. Yes. At some point we also need to think about replacing the Futurismo. I think that's a thing for the next episode. Maybe or maybe not. I still have other plans also with the Freccia. Currently, the really nice thing is, okay, still the G2 is doing its thing and still being sold very nicely, but I think we already have more pre-orders than actual cars that we are producing. That's quite funny actually. So already a quarter of the things that we need in our pre-order file, and it's only going up from there. Now we have passed the pre-order level that we need later per month. That's really good. 150, 250 to go. Still earning money, saving money. So I think next time we can definitely afford another factory. Once we need one. What happened now? Okay, the engine factory is being reworked, and that's why the Futurismo has a small hiccup in production this month. it will come back. So now our rally car is ready and the homologation car. We already have half of it in our pre-order pile. Let's see what it does in the first month. 24 cars, that's not a lot more than we need. And production is slow. I need to turn up production as much as I can. This one. Let's go full all out. We need to turn up the production and hammer those homologation cars out. And immediately, so I have 20 Group 4 rally cars in stock. I can immediately pause the production and hope that somebody at some point will buy one. If not, then we just have 20 factory rally cars. And I think that's the way it will go. Profits have spiked again massively. Yeah, for a short time now we are constructing the factory for the Freccia. The big upgrade from a small level 1 to a small level 3. So now we are actually losing some money again. Big spending. Already 68 delivered. 214 remaining pre-orders. So I don't think we will cover all 400 in this episode, but I will wait for the release of the Freccia as well. Selling off the last bits of the first generation Cuneo. Still selling the Group 5 race car. The Turismo is also in production again. Good. And yeah, we're selling off the last bits of the G2. The Nuovo Via has not been cleared because we still have some spiders lying around. 26 actually, so let's scrap them. Rest is already gone. Then the Nuovo Via will finally be cleared from the list as well. Yep. Now the Freccia is ready. Let's give it one more month to see how it does. Oh yes, 5 million plus. And yeah, we delivered 600 in the first month. Of course, selling off a few pre-orders, but this is now mass production level. 600 per month means 7,200 per year. That's insane levels for such a small sports car manufacturer. So anything else is really just a hobby project now. Let's check our numbers again. Everything is looking very good. We never sold any Group 4 rally car and probably never will. But I also don't want to reduce the price too much. Nobody wants it. It's just a race car. We have sold 148, so 252 to go. We have 210 remaining pre-orders. The problem is just that they are first fulfilling the pre-orders for the Spider. But yeah, soon these numbers will go up, so we need around 12 more months to fulfill the pre-order number, which is exactly what we need. So for the season of 1980 we are ready, so we have 2 seasons of Group 4 Rally before Group B starts. I think that's pretty nice. Now that we are confident that we will actually make the production targets for Group 4, let's head to the rally track and let's have some fun. Alright, there we are. New car, new luck. I tested a little bit off camera with the normal export, and this is not made for loose surfaces. So I had to down tune the boost a little bit. Also had to clean up the rear, there was something broken. I also see there's one line missing here. Well, I had to down tune the boost to 0.6 bar to somehow be controllable. So let's see how this does. So we're on rally tires here. You only get them in sandbox, but that's alright. So let's see what we can do. It really doesn't want to go in a straight line. And you have to lift off when there's little weight on the driven axles. And there it lost grip and crashed into the barrier. Okay, let's try again. Somehow the speedometer always breaks in time trial mode, I don't know why. Ouch, this always hurts. Each little bump hurts. Oh god. Maybe I'm also just not made for rally. In rally you really have to be patient and pace yourself, and yeah, I'm normally just doing normal road racing. And I'm not really good at rally. Nope. Ah. One more time, and now really patient. I tell that to me all the time. Also, keep the boost up. Even though it's scary in first gear. No, don't crash. As long as you keep the boost up, there's no surprise. Ouch. But yeah, I think it's a little bit too much for Group 4. All-wheel drive was not a thing back then. But maybe what we can say already is that we have learned 300 horsepower is too much. 245 or whatever we have right now is too much as well for rear-wheel drive and rally. So maybe we just say this is really a motivation to try all-wheel drive when we move on to Group. Oh, this was just a driver error. Didn't know that the road was turning sharper than expected. But yeah, this is an off-road vehicle. Alright. Yeah, for Group B, maybe. This is a legitimate learning that we did here to go to all-wheel drive. I maybe thought we have to avoid all-wheel drive because I thought there was a hairpin. That's why you have co-drivers in rally, I think. Yeah, for Group B, we definitely can go for all-wheel drive, I think, even though it's heavy. But always nothing without control. And we definitely have learned that here in Group 4. Yeah, but I think I finally got a little bit of a stutter there, and it threw me off. But well, I think that's good enough now for the rally part. And yeah, you see the end result, you see what we have learned. And here we are on the automation test track with the same car, still on rally tires, still with 0.6 bars of boost. So let's see how this compares to all of the other cars. I was a little bit too scared to take the original one. Oh, second gear start, unfortunately. Was too afraid to take the 1 bar of boost. So this one actually feels alright. Bit of understeer here. but I prefer understeer to oversteer in this case. Back to first gear, stay in boost. Was a little late there in the corner. Some scraping there, probably the mud flap. Unfortunately, the speedometer broke. It's definitely scary enough. You can feel the downforce. And the understeer, but I saved it. I think still good enough. Actually, one of the more controllable cars now with reduced boost. Back to first. Was a little late there as well. Brakes are not easy to control. Too much understeer, definitely. But if I would have more boost, it would be understeer then oversteer. There's the oversteer. As the car gets light over the hump. And I think that's a pretty good time for rally tires. Ooh, 18.6. Okay. That's not too shabby. So definitely happy with how this one went. And we learned a lot for our future endeavors in Group B, I think. So that will probably be the next thing. Prepare our Group B car. In case we already have all-wheel drive available. Need to check that out. And I'm looking forward to work on that car. See you all again then. Thank you very much for watching. And bye bye.